In Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 there are two systems that are used for logging, and that may be a little bit confusing. So before diving into the details of how to work with these two systems, I want to explain a little bit about how information is logged on Red Hat 7 and how our syslogd and journald are working together to handle log information. So we have services, and these services are providing logging information. Now it's up to the service to decide how exactly they want to do that. It is possible to do a direct write, and that means that the service all by itself opens a log file and writes directly to it. In this example, the name of the log file is /somewhere/my.log. It can really be anything the server likes to write the logs to. Also, the service can use systemctl. Systemctl is used to start the service, and it keeps track of what is happening while the service is starting anyway. And everything that goes through systemd will be written to journald, which is the systemd related way of handling log information. And then there's a classic way of handling logging as well, and that is through our syslogd. So our syslogd is the classical way of logging information in Linux, and typically it will write information to the var log directory. But alternative locations can be used as well, as we will see later in this lesson. Now, all these different approaches can make it difficult for a user to get logging information. So if a user needs to get logging information, it can be journalctl or it can be our syslog. So how do these relate to one another? Well, there are some advanced options, and you don't have to know this for the exam, but I just want you to be aware that it is possible to tie the two logging systems together. So if you want journalctl information to be logged into our syslog, in the rsyslog.conf there's a couple of lines that you can include. And you also need to create a listend.conf that contains a couple of lines as well, which is just enabling our syslog for receiving information that was logged by journald. And it is also possible to log information from our syslog.conf to journald. And that is also by including a line in our syslog.conf, the main configuration file for our syslog. And what you're doing here is basically specifying that anything that is logged with our syslog should be sent to omjournal, which is journald, and you can use journalctl to get the information out of these logs, as I will explain in the next topics in this lesson.